Hey everybody, so the past two videos I showed you how I make the clouds here in West Chicago. We did these clouds in the background and then I painted the trees on in the other video, and then I added some ground cover in here and some bushes to hide where the backdrop meets the layout. And then what I'm going to show you today is how I plant the trees and stuff like that. But before I do that, I'll show you actually how I achieved this ground cover right here. Actually, it was pretty simple. The first step is to use some glue, and I get this. I use this tacky glue right here. You can use Elmer's glue or any kind of glue. It's just a white all-purpose glue. And what I did with that is I just kind of laid it down in here, and then I wet a brush with some water, and I come in and smooth it all out and stipple that in. I don't want any lines, and I smoothed all that glue out all through here. And while it was still wet, a couple of years back, I made my own dirt and sifted my own dirt and cooked it in the oven to kill any bacteria and stuff like that. And that's what this is right here. It's really fine, real dirt that I made. And like I said, I sifted this stuff all down to the finest I could get it, and then I cooked it in an oven for probably about 20-25 minutes at 350 degrees, just to kill off anything that might be growing in there. And that was the first layer. So when I do my scenery, I like to do in layers. So the very first layer in the real world is the dirt, and the really dark dirt down at the bottom. So that's what this stuff here represented. And then once I got done with that and everything's still wet, I came in and used some of the Scenic Expressed Fine Natural Soil and Dirt, which is a lot lighter color than the darker earth that I made. And that's the number right there. So then I sprinkled some of that over the top while it was all still wet. And then once those two layers of dirt were in, I take some 91% rubbing alcohol in a nice fine spray bottle. You can get these really cheap pretty much anywhere, but you want to make sure it's like an itemizing mist that comes out of it, not just a solid stream or anything like that. And I just take very light little pumps. I never pull the whole thing. It's just very light little pumps, because you don't want to upset the dirt. And I come in and I spray that area and try not to get any on the back or too much on the track work, and it just kind of saturates back there. And what that does, it breaks the surface tension for when I come in with the final glue. So dark dirt, light dirt after I get the initial glue down, and then once that's all done, I spray it with 91% alcohol and kind of get that saturation in there. And then I come in with the Woodland Scenic cement. Now a lot of people, I used to make my own. You can make your own, but I buy this stuff right here. It's cheap enough. This, you can mix regular white glue and water 50-50, which I still do from time to time, but I have some of this laying around, so I was using it. And I use one of these here, an eyedropper, and I just come in and I just get this all wet with glue. Once that was down, I added some twigs and some little bigger rocks here and there. And then what I really like is Scenic Express came up with this Super Turf leaf litter, and that's this stuff here. And this is just like what you find underneath the trees, that have just all the stuff that's dead and leaves, and really cool product. And the number is right there, that EX891A. Really neat product, and that's what produces all this leaf litter that's down along here, which would represent everything that fell off of the trees over the past years and stuff like that. And when I was done with that, I let that dry. Actually, before I let everything dry, I came in and added some of these bushes. So what I did is, you remember the Woodland Scenic stuff? I have a box full of just a bunch of pieces and parts and things like that. And all the way down at the bottom, you come up with this little fine, and then you get some thicker stuff. So all that is just left over from some other boxes that I've had, and I break it all up, and I added that right along the seam where the backdrop meets the layout. And then from that point, I use my eyedropper once again with more of the scenic cement, and I come in and I put it over the top, all down in here, so everything gets glued down. Even these pieces of wood right here are now glued down, same as this one. And then I let that dry overnight. I came down here today, this is all dry, I vacuumed everything up, made sure nothing was in the track here. And now I'm going to show you how I do the trees. Alright, so hang on and I'll be right back. Alright, so what we're going to need to put the trees in is I use just a little pokey awl that makes the holes wherever I want the trees to go. A couple of sets of tweezers, nothing crazy, and I got this little thing here with some white glue already in it. And that's just the tacky glue, once again. So, back to the box. This is some old stuff that I had. These are the 3 new boxes that I had in the other video. Instead of nitpicking out of each one of these, I just dump everything into here, mix them all up, and then find the ones that look like really nice trees and work with those. So let's go ahead and open these up and get them dumped in. So this is the dark green, and they all come with a nice armature, which I may or may not use at some point. We'll just kind of set that off to the side. Alright, so there's the dark green. This one here is olive green. Get that one dumped in. Put this out of here. And then I have the light green. Dump that one. And another armature. I have a lot of those. So now, what we have here is all our different colors. This is the old stuff, kind of. I just keep that off to the side. Make some really nice bushes. And then what I want to do is just lightly pull this apart and see what I have for trees. Look at that. So that's a nice one right there. I'm going to set that one aside. This one's not bad either. It's a nice one. Work with that. Get some darker ones in here. Look at this one, isn't that nice? So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to dig through this and just kind of separate some nice ones out of here, and then we'll go ahead and plant some. So we'll be right back. Alright, so I've gone through and I've actually dug out quite a few nice little trees here. Not a bad haul. So I got all kinds of different sizes, different colors, and this like is right out of the box. Some of them have some longer stems on them. You just kind of break those off, and you got yourself a pretty good looking tree there. There's also some stuff inside, like right here. You want to try to pull these off. Sometimes you'll find them in there. They just don't look very realistic, but they pull right out easy enough. This one's got some wintertime ice damage. So, real easy here. So what I'm going to do is, some of the bigger trees are going to stay up in this area over here. And I'm not going to add a lot of trees, but we'll start, this right here is as good a place as any. So what I'll do is I'll just poke a hole right here. And this is all plywood. There's no foam here, so I just poke a hole deep enough for the glue. Whoops, I lost it. Alright. So I'll leave that there so I don't lose the hole. And then we'll start with, I don't know, we'll start with this one right here. It's a good looking beginning tree. And I'll grab my tweezers. Latch on him. Kind of like that. And what we'll do is we'll just dip that right into the glue. And we'll pull the awl out. Stick it right in there. Just like that. And here's the first tree. And we'll go in to put another tree in right beside it of a different color. Should be good. Right there, we'll put this one in. I don't like the way that branches down like that, so we'll pull that right off of there. Oh, I think that looks better. Kind of like that. Oops. And I'll put that in some glue. Pull the all out. Put that right in place there. Just like that. And we'll work them together. Like so. I'll have one little tree out here that kind of snuck out. Just a small one here in the front. This one's nice sized right here. Just a small one. So, you know, you just get a different shades of green going. I'll put this one in right here. This is a nice tall tree. Put that one in. In here. Goes down into the plywood. Made the mistake once, twice maybe, pulling the awl out, then putting some glue on the tree stub, and I couldn't find the hole. So I learned to leave the awl in there so I can find it. Turn that one this way. There we go. He kind of looks a little out of place all by himself. I'm going to put this one in there with him. Tweezers and glue. And we'll put it right here. And we're on our way to making our forest. So the white glue, you know, will dry clear. You won't see that. We'll do a couple more, and then I'll do some more, and we'll come back and take a look at it. It's kind of one-sided on this tree, so I think I'll turn it this way. Put that in there. Right here. That's a good spot. It's got a nice thick tree trunk on it. Just like that. Put it under these real quick. This one's kind of nice. And come on. Like that. Yeah. So I'll continue on and keep planting some more trees. As I get closer over here, they're going to kind of get smaller and dwindle away to just bushes, because the track gets really close to the backdrop back there. So this whole area right here is going to be ballasted. There'll be some trees painted on the background. And then I actually have a couple of high tension, high voltage. These go here, and they'll be across the tracks here. So I want to make sure I keep the trees over here and not put trees, because usually they keep the clearing for those wires. And I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll keep the tree line close to the backdrop and just kind of keep it small as it gets further away. But there you have it. So give it a try. There's a lot of different ways to make trees. Scenic Express offers a bunch of trees. But these are Woodland Scenics straight out of the box. 3 different colors. Just mix them all together with the painted backdrop. I think it looks pretty good. Alright folks, thanks for watching.